Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And man, it felt like summer out there once again today, didn't it? Beautiful shot looking across the parts of the Wenatchee Valley in East Wenatchee and Wenatchee from our cross camera up on Wenatchee Heights. And thank you to Local-Tel and Sky5 for providing these great shots out our weather window. Just a few clouds out there this afternoon, but temperatures once again well, and I mean well above normal all across north central Washington. And expect that trend to continue at least for a couple more days. We hit right on 79 today as the Weather Service predicted this morning, and then about 73 for our high temperature tomorrow. And that will be just the start of a cool down as we head towards the weekend, because we have big changes then by Saturday. Our temperatures will cool down about 10 to 15 degrees, and widespread rain is likely throughout Washington state pretty much the entire weekend. I'll have all the weather details coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The first day of community-wide COVID-19 testing drew a big response in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee on Tuesday. In an announcement yesterday, Governor Jay Inslee eased some COVID restrictions on counties in Phase 2 or 3. And the Chelan City Council has filled its vacant seat. We'll tell you who it is. But first, we begin tonight with criminal trials resumed in Chelan County. A trial date has finally been set for the two people suspected of starting the Colockum Fire back in July. Wade Ryan Hawkins and Kristen B. Horner were charged with first-degree arson for allegedly setting the 3,000-acre fire back on July 24th. On Monday, a judge scheduled their trial for December 15th. Sheriff's deputies say the couple set the fire near Colockum Road in order to distract police who were en route to arrest Hawkins over a trespassing dispute. Hawkins was released from jail last month on a $105,000 bond. Horner remains held in the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Well, the first day of community-wide COVID-19 testing drew a big response in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee yesterday. In fact, the Chelan-Douglas Health District said so many people showed up at Wenatchee High School, they exceeded their testing capacity and needed to tell some to come back another day this week. Between the two cities, 386 people were tested. The free self-administered testing will continue in Wenatchee from 1 to 7 p.m. through Friday at the high school. There are more community-wide tests scheduled in East Wenatchee, but the health district said they're working on more dates and venues for both cities. Governor Jay Inslee on Tuesday announced some modifications to Washington's Safe Start plan, but most only apply to counties in Phase 2 of COVID-19 recovery. Chelan and Douglas counties remain in a modified Phase 1. The new rules affect school and non-school sports, movie theaters, libraries, and many businesses, but again, only in Phase 2 or better. The governor discussed the changes in a press conference.
We have new rules that will allow movie theaters to open up, libraries to open up, wedding receptions to open up, real estate activities to open up, and some outdoor recreation. We'll make some changes that the cutoff for alcohol in restaurants will be advanced to 11 p.m. from 10 p.m. We are also allowing greater capacity at tables in phases 2 and 3. And we are eliminating the restriction that was in place that required you to only dine with people in your household. We are hopeful this is going to allow restaurants to boost business and in a safe way. We're opening libraries for indoor operations in Phase 2 at 25% capacity. Realtors can host open houses again, as long as they're consistent with the county's gathering size limits. And for youth sports, we're applying metrics to determine the risk associated with each activity and when they can resume. So we're doing this because we want to recognize the progress we've made. We want to celebrate it. And we hope that this will show an incentive for our increasing desire to do the things that work, which includes wearing masks. Because here in Washington, we know this risk is real, it is something to be concerned about, and that we have a weapon against it.
In order to reach Phase 2 and benefit from the new rules, the Wenatchee Valley must lower its infection rate to at least 25 new cases per 100,000 people over a 2-week period. Last week, that rate was 114 per 100,000. Chelan businessman Chris Baker has been selected to fill a vacant position on the Chelan City Council. In his letter of application, Baker said he previously was a public school teacher for 8 years and has owned and operated a house painting business for the past 15 years, in addition to a home watching business he started in 2018. Baker replaces Ray Dobbs on the council. Dobbs resigned this summer, saying he was moving to East Wenatchee. Coming up next, the city of Wenatchee is seeking a $250,000 investment from Chelan County for Lincoln Park revitalization. Chelan County PUD is celebrating Public Power Week by highlighting some of its longtime customers, including 66-year members Ray and Betty Lee Taylor. A local Washington State Patrol trooper is remembered. And Ted Nugent has taken his fame in rock and roll and turned it into a platform for local gun rights and conservative activism. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu, because we work to get you to work.
Hope, oxygen to your soul, color in your world, a light to your future.
Difficult to qualify and quantify,
Yet you know when it's lacking. So many things have promised us hope.
but have left us feeling hopeless and empty.
Real hope is able to stand firm even on the darkest day of the soul and still say with the prophet Jeremiah,
"For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord.
Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future.
The Apostle Paul declared to a young church in Rome,
May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace."
as you trust in him.
so that you may overflow with hope.
By the power of the Holy Spirit.
If our God is a God of hope, then maybe it's your turn to experience a hope that cannot be shaken.
Or destroyed.
And maybe it's time to hope again.
Maybe it's time to become a generation of hope.
What if the same God that raised Christ Jesus from the dead
And resurrect your hope.
maybe it's time to hope again.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here, having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
Welcome back. In another news, the city of Wenatchee this week asked Chelan County commissioners to share some costs to redevelop Lincoln Park. The 18-acre recreation site in South Wenatchee is due for vast upgrades, and Parks and Recreation Director Dave Erickson hopes $250,000 set aside by the county for economic development can be made available for the project.
We started getting a request from the community that they would like to see items of the park upgraded, and so since that time we've seen some elements of the park that have had to go away because of age or not meeting current code, things like the stage and the play equipment and the old picnic shelter that was there. So overall this project will include adding a soccer field, replacing the restrooms with new restrooms that meet ADA accessibility, a new stage, a BMX pump track. We'll be adding a spray park, a new playground, and a new picnic shelter, as well as some landscaping and safety improvements throughout the park. So one of the little elements that we've worked with a local disc golf organization here to add a disc golf course also. So a number of elements coming to that park to really bring it back to life and make it a hub for that portion of the community.
Erickson expects the total project to cost about $3.4 million. Chelan County commissioners received the city's $250,000 request on Monday, but tabled it for future action. Chelan County PUD is celebrating Public Power Week by highlighting some of its longtime customers. That includes Ray and Betty Lee Taylor. The PUD says Ray was going through some boxes recently when he found a check he'd written to the PUD back in 1957 as treasurer for the First Baptist Church. The bill for 2 months of power totaled a whopping $1.80. Ray and Betty Lee have been PUD customers for 66 years, and Ray was also an employee of National Bank of Commerce when PUD leadership came in to arrange financing to buy Rock Island Dam from Puget Sound Energy. How cool is that? Well, the Washington State Patrol is marking its 100th year of service by remembering troopers lost in the line of duty. This week, that includes Trooper Jim Saunders, a former Leavenworth resident killed by a gunman during a traffic stop in 1999. Saunders was only 31 years old. He'd been a state patrol officer for 9 years. A decade after his death, he was remembered in Leavenworth with a memorial bench designed by artist Ben Bark and placed along Highway 2. The State Patrol held a special dedication ceremony for the bench in 2013. In other news, Ted Nugent has taken his fame in rock and roll and turned it into a platform for gun rights and conservative activism. He and his wife, Charmaine, have gone to social media to promote Lauren Culp for governor of Washington.
Hey, Ted, we're out here going for a walk, and you know what? Our good friend, Lauren Culp, is running for governor.
And the great Northwest needs a hero who stands for God, family, country, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, all are God-given individual rights guaranteed by the mighty Constitution. And Lauren Culp will turn Washington back into the great Northwest, the real Washington. Let's stand up for freedom in 2020 and vote for Lauren Culp for governor of Washington, because I love the real Washington and I can't wait for it to come back.
Let's make America great again, make America healthy again, and make Washington State awesome by electing Lauren Culp.
Lauren, Godspeed, my blood brother for freedom.
Culp, the Republican police chief of Republic, is facing the Democratic incumbent Jay Inslee for governor. The two will face off tonight at 8 o'clock here on the NCWLIFE channel in a gubernatorial debate presented by the Washington State Debate Coalition. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
As the sun sets on another hot summer, let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa winterize and close your pool. Closing your swimming pool is the most important service to get right. Letting the professionals from Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa close your pool will ensure that you won't cost yourself thousands of dollars in damage next year. Want to save a little money? Consider dropping the water level yourself and save. Don't wait. Blue Lagoon's pool closing schedule is filling up quickly. Call today.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
And welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Community members will honor 9 new Eagle Scouts from throughout the region with a parade at 2:30 Saturday afternoon at the Town Toyota Center parking lot. In tonight's features story, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley's Dan Kuntz talked with 3 of those Eagle Scouts this week about the community service projects they completed to help them earn Scouting's highest achievement.
I decided to do the landscaping around a new sign that was put in at Locomotive Park by the Lions Club. So the Lions Club came out and reached out to me, and they were like, hey, we need some help doing putting the sign up and doing the landscaping. And so I worked with the city of Wenatchee and got volunteers from my troop to do the landscaping around the sign. And the sign says Lions Locomotive Park. It's right on the corner of Wenatchee Avenue and Ferry Street.
So up in Leavenworth, up the Chumstick Canyon, there's a creek, almost, that was overran by native weeds. So all the trees and all the vegetation, everything like there, the beautiful little land that used to be there was taken over, run over. So our job was to come in, pull that out, and plant over 450 trees. My project was to help assist plant and mulch all of those trees so they can grow and retake over that area and hopefully bring back some vegetation.
Well, so I've been involved in theater for a long time, and one of the things we noticed was for set building, the storage place, it was really messy. So I talked with the leaders at the high school, and we figured out how to sort the items and build a stack for it.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast, and I'll tell you what, could it be any nicer for October 7th? I'll tell you what, normal high temperature, we'll get to that in a second, way below what we saw today and what we've been seeing, 81 degrees yesterday. And look at this beautiful shot as we take a look over the Wenatchee Valley, Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, the beautiful Columbia River, and just a few high clouds out there. The first clouds of our first of many storm systems that'll be moving through our area over the next about 5 to 6 days. We'll get to that in a second too, but what a shot today from our Sky-Fi tower camera up on Wenatchee Heights. It was another warm one today too. Unofficial high temperature in the Wenatchee area, 79 degrees. 66 is where we should be for this time of year. We started off on the mild side this morning too at 55. 44 is our normal low. Once again, second day in a row, 2014 the year for our record high. Last year on this date, or I should say in 2014, 84 degrees, record low 32, the freezing mark, and that was in 1990. Sunrise 7:09, and the sun will set tonight at 6:27. Let's take a look at what we can expect as we get into our Thursday forecast. It's still going to be nice Thursday and for a lot of Friday, but we'll see more clouds rolling in because of these storm systems. It will cool us off a little too. Mid-70s, afraid of Moses Lake, Quincy 74, a little cooler in Wenatchee and the entire Valley, 72 for Cashmere, Eniat 73, and a beautiful day up in Omak tomorrow with a high temperature of 74 degrees. Tonight, once again, enjoy the beautiful evening. High pressure is remaining in control, but it is definitely weakening and getting shoved to the south by this little area of low pressure, and it's got a tail on it which will move through southern Canada. That'll drag a few clouds through tonight. For Thursday, mostly sunny, breezy as we get into the afternoon. About 15 miles an hour here in the Wenatchee Valley, higher wind speeds over in the Moses Lake area, and you can see the clouds beginning to move in for Friday. That system will move through, and then this bigger system will begin to nudge into northwestern Washington. We'll have a 40% chance for a late night shower here in Wenatchee, excuse me, on Friday. Increasing clouds, we'll notice that with a chance for showers late as we mentioned. Saturday cloudy, and look at that, widespread rain. Washington, Oregon, just where we need it from the fires and all the dry weather, and we're definitely going to feel a cool down too as our flow comes more of a northwesterly flow. On Sunday, partly cloudy skies, a 40% chance of showers. I think that'll mainly be late in the day. Notice all the snow showers in our blue areas. Those temperatures only about 40 to 50 degrees 70s for highs. We'll be a little bit warmer than that on Sunday, mainly in the lower 60s. And by Monday, partly cloudy, just some scattered showers in our forecast for Monday. It will be cool, though, with high temperatures Monday once again about where we should be for this time of year in the lower to mid 60s. And seasonal temperatures for Tuesday, too, as high pressure begins to form a ridge back up and over us. But don't expect to warm up this time. We're going to see temperatures from this ridge mainly about 60 to 65. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. 55 once again our overnight low tonight. 73, a bit breezy in the afternoon tomorrow. For Friday, a 40% chance of rain. I think that'll even be closer to midnight for Friday. 71 our high. And then rain is likely on Saturday. We could see 1 to 2/10 of an inch of moisture in Wenatchee and 64. And then just lower 60s on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Each day, a chance for scattered showers. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. The British Columbia Hockey League, or BCHL, is made up of 18 teams, only one of which is outside British Columbia, the Wenatchee Wild. And with the border closed from the U.S. to Canada because of COVID-19, Wenatchee's left on its own to figure out any type of preseason activity. Wenatchee coach Chris Clark says that means they have to be creative on formulating an exhibition schedule.
A few different things in the works right now. We are talking with some other American teams about possibly playing them or putting teams together to play against them in a few different locations. So obviously with the border not being open, playing the BC teams is out of the question right now, but we have a few things in the works. You got to give Bless a ton of credit. I think he spends 16 hours a day on the phone just trying to get things right and make it so that our players have a great experience this year. And I know we'll get there, and the exhibition games will happen, and then, like I said, then we'll get to the regular season, and it's all hands on deck.
Now, in regards to this year's team, it's going to be a mixture of new and returning players from last year's squad. Clark says one thing's for sure is that they will play Wenatchee Wild-style hockey.
We got a good skilled group. I think we got some good returning players that we'll lean on, obviously, early, especially in training camp, to show the culture and how we like to do things here in Wenatchee. But, again, we're going to be built on speed. We're going to be built on making plays, getting up and down the ice, being extremely hard to play against when we don't have the puck. And the one thing I should mention that is always a staple for Wenatchee Wild hockey is that we're going to be disciplined. We don't take a whole bunch of unnecessary penalties. We want to do our damage on the power play and spend as little time on the kill as we can. But the beauty is that we got 7 weeks to help mold these kids and help guide these kids in the way we want to play. And again, 7 weeks is a blessing for any hockey coach to be able to work with kids, so we're excited.
Wenatchee has made the playoffs in each season since joining the BCHL in 2015, winning the Fred Page Cup and the Doyle Cup in 2018. Clark says the tradition of winning helps to continue stocking the shelves with good players season after season.
It's funny, I just had dinner with Dylan Aboud the other night, former Wenatchee Wild player, and we talked about, he talked about how the program just continues to have success. And I told him, I said, it's players like you, good players that have come here, not only good players, but good people that have represented the town and the team in a first-class manner. And when you have those players that come year after year after year, it does make the recruiting process a lot easier because good players are friends with good players and good people are friends with good people. And so when you continue to have players like Dylan Aboud and hundreds others that really give the Wenatchee Wild a good stamp. And obviously you've had great coaches like Bliss Littler and others. All that stuff plays into effect, and it definitely helps with the recruiting process, because now where when we first started, Wenatchee was kind of a question mark as to where it was. Now it's a staple, and it's a place players want to be, and I think that's exciting.
Support for the Wild has been unflappable since the team's first season back in 2008. Last year, an average of 2,274 fans bought tickets for 28 home games at the Town Toyota Center. That was second only to Penticton in the entire BCHL. Clark says he appreciates the support and can't wait to be able to play in front of the Wild Nation again.
We miss you guys. As badly as you want to be at the rink, we want you to be at the rink. And we know that when that time comes, that you guys will be as loud and as proud as you always are. And stay with us. That time will come. I know 2020 has not been easy for anybody, but like anything, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And just knowing that our kids are going to be on the ice in 8 days is a great first step. And then, like I said, we can't wait to see you guys back at the Town Toyota Center and have that place rocking and miserable for the other teams.
Stay tuned for more information soon on an exhibition schedule for the Wild. Wenatchee's hopeful to be able to join the rest of the BCHL when the regular season begins in early December. Let's open up the Les Schwab scoreboard on day 2 of Major League Baseball's divisional playoffs yesterday. Walker Buehler and 4 relievers held San Diego to 1 run on 3 hits with 14 strikeouts. The Dodgers topped the Padres 5-1. Los Angeles broke a 1-1 tie with a 4-run 6th inning as Justin Turner and Cody Bellinger each came up with RBI singles. Game 2 tonight on FS1. Atlanta came from behind with a 6-run 7th inning on home runs by Travis d'Arnaud and Dansby Swanson. They beat Miami 9-5. Tampa Bay turned the tables on New York last night in Game 2 of their American League Divisional Series. One night after the Yankees blasted 4 home runs, the Rays drove 4 of their own out of the park in a 7-5 victory. Former Mariner catcher Mike Zunino was one of the 4 Tampa Bay players to hit home runs. Giancarlo Stanton also went yard for the Bronx Bombers, including a 3-run shot in the 4th, Game 3 on TBS. Well, George Springer hit 2 home runs and drove in 3 to lead Houston past Oakland 5-2. The A's had an early lead on Chris Davis's home run in the 2nd, but Springer's first home run, a 2-run shot in the 3rd, gave the Astros a lead they would not relinquish. Houston going for the sweep today. And for the 4th time in franchise history, the Seattle Storm have won the WNBA title.
Utter and complete domination. In a year we will never forget. The Seattle Storm are the team we will always remember. They are your 2020 WNBA champions. The sweep is complete. 92-59, the final in Game 3, and it is championship number 4 for the Seattle Storm.
Brianna Stewart scored 26 points, the unanimous selection as the finals MVP. Seattle's 33-point win, the largest ever in a WNBA final game. Storm add this year's title to those in 2004, 2010, and 2018. Sue Bird, who turns 40 next week, has been a part of all 4 championships with the Storm. Congratulations, Seattle. Let's look at sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric, and congratulations to the Storm. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. With Rob Clark, the head PGA professional at the Desert Canyon Golf Resort last weekend. Grant and Eric and myself and my brother had a chance to enjoy some of the fine facilities that Desert Canyon has to offer, and I had a chance to sit down with Rob to talk a little golf and a little Desert Canyon. It's a conversation you don't want to miss. It's going to be a fun little video. I think you're going to like it. Until you get to the highlights of us playing golf, then perhaps not. So my interview with Rob Clark tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, plus news, sports, weather, and everything else you're used to. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll be watching it. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.